Welcome back to Burn to Notice, the series dedicated to dissecting the actions of Micheal Weston and his team. If you are new to the series, there's a link down in the description to catch you up. This episode begins with Mike decoding the crossword that was left last episode to figure out where to meet Carla. Also, Mike invites Sam and Fee to be there as his backup, which Sam complains about the caddy again because of all of the things that got messed up last episode. This is where we officially meet Carla. Then she and Mike have some playful banter until Carla recruits Mike to counterfeit a high-tech badge from a Tunisian called Nevzi. Also, Mike inquires about getting his job back, but of course, doing 2 jobs for the organization isn't going to really cut it, and Carla informs him of that. And this is where we learn that Carla's men are extremely good and find both Sam and Fee, which Carla destroys the camera, basically in order just to show power, because it's very unnecessary after taking the SD card. But anyway, they all meet back at the loft to discuss the new job, and Mike reveals that the camera that was destroyed was Sam's girlfriend, putting Mike higher and higher on her hit list. This is when Fee brings up Barry, because he should know who the counterfeiter is and how to get in touch with him. Unfortunately, Barry is staying clear of Mike because of the favor he did on the finale of last season. Then Mike convinces Fee to talk to Barry for him. Even after last episode, they split up. This is when Sam calls Mike in order to meet him at the Carlito, which I believe this is actually the first time they actually reference the bar as the Carlito. But anyway, this is when Mike sees Sam consoling a woman, and Mike already knows what's going on and even tries to leave. But Sam catches him and brings Mike up to speed about a new job where somebody is stalking Sophia, the new client, and Mike reluctantly agrees to help. Next, we see Mike and Sam doing some surveillance, and Mike is concerned that something is wrong about how Sophia got in touch with Sam. But then Maddie calls about her destroyed coffee maker, and Mike tells her he will meet up with her a little bit later. This is when Mike finds out the stalker, Raul, has a Mac 10. Concerning Mike, he might be a little bit more than import-export businesses. In the meantime, Fee invades Barry's spa time to gain some information on Nevzi, and Barry reluctantly provides the information. Barry also tries flirting with Fee.
Because if you want, I can arrange a massage for you or something. Dinner after.
Who needs electrodes when you have one of these?
I was just asking.
That's completely worthless. Then at Maddie's, Mike tries to fix the coffee maker, and Maddie, after being scared to death during her brush with Mike's escapades during the season finale, she floats the idea of therapy, and Mike again reluctantly obliges to meet with them when Sam calls to pull Mike away from Maddie's to do more surveillance on Raul, to find out he is the boss in a shipping company, where Mike convinces Sam to get a closer look by acting like an annoying businessman. This is where Sam sees coffee and lidocaine.
Lidocaine is used to cut cocaine, and coffee masks a smell from the dog.
This forces Mike to interrogate Sophia, and during the questioning, Mike finds out that Sophia is DEA, after she pulls a gun on Mike, but come on, Mike is a lot faster than that. And now with her cover blown, she shares all the intel on the cartel and how Raul isn't the main boss. The real boss is Campos, running cocaine in Miami. We also learn Sophia would lose her case if the DEA finds out that Raul is infatuated with her. Also, I believe she references Ernie from episode 7. That's the only episode where Mike takes on a cartel, at least up until this point. For a long time, I thought she was referencing Javier from the pilot, but it doesn't really fit too well. Anyway, Sophia begs for help, and Mike, of course, does. Next, Sophia presents Mike to Raul at the restaurant she works at. This is where Mike finds out about the rival cartels have already attempted an attack on Campos, meaning that the cartel is ready for battle. But also, Mike proposes to convince the cartel to turn on Raul, which is an ambitious plan. Then Raul calls Sophia and is extremely jealous of fictional men that he's made up in his own mind that will become important by the end of this episode. Back at the loft, Mike is washing checks.
It's a real check.
Yeah, it's been washed.
The only thing original is the signature.
But it's perfect, Carl. I mean, this isn't hydrochloride or bleach.
Nope. Something new. Maybe a nail polish remover where the acetone removes the ink that's not been printed.
And Mike uses the same technique by taping the check and washing it with acetone, basically just to impress Nevsky. And also importantly, Mike isn't actually trying to hurt anyone because the checks he's using are for a defunct company, which again shows Mike's character. He could have easily stolen a bunch of checks and made them basically a blank check. Again, that just shows how good of a person Mike actually is. He might do bad things, but for very good reasons. But with all that done, Mike meets with Nevsky and brags about his washed checks, and Nevsky basically snubs him, calling him an amateur. But after some negotiations, he does concede to counterfeiting the badge. However, the badge is going to take a little longer than Carla expects, and she gets pissed. Also, Mike misses the first therapy session with his mom, which also pisses off Maddie. But Mike can't stay rattled for very long because he has to go to a meeting with Raul back at the restaurant to discuss business plans, and tries to put Raul at ease by promising the world. And even Raul is a little sketchy about what Mike is promising. Also, even wondering why Mike doesn't want to meet Campos, the big boss. But Mike's attempts to quell the suspicion prove to be effective because Raul invites Mike to a drink. Afterwards, Mike goes to see Maddie, and Maddie's unexpectedly happy, mostly because she believes that Mike replaced the coffee maker, but he infers that it's Carla, which is confirmed by the crossword puzzle. And after their meeting, Mike meets with Carla about the coffee maker and the job. Also, Mike tries to get some intel on Carla, and she sees right through this, also threatening Maddie. Next, Fee plants a GPS on one of Raul's trucks in order to make it seem like they are compromised. Meanwhile, Raul gets some dirt on Mike's cover ID to have some leverage on Mike, and they have a conversation where Mike tries to leave but is swiftly encouraged not to with a gun to the ribs. Also, part of Michael's plan is revealing the GPS device that just got planted. We also get to see Fee's new Saab, and even though it's a very good looking car, we can kind of tell that it's product placement. But anyway, next Mike goes to the therapy session with Maddie, and it starts terribly, and Maddie tries to guilt trip him, and Mike comes up with a story to piss Maddie off, which mostly works because Maddie does storm off, and this is when Raul calls and seems to be happy to work with the proposal until Mike is accused of getting with Sophia, which this exact situation happened before with one of the arms dealers, Ari, and Mike gets out of it basically the same way. He just doesn't back down from his cover ID. And there is a really nice touch in this scene where after he is effectively fooled Raul, he gets that nice deep exhale, like all that weight is off of his shoulders. Very nice touch from the director. And this scene actually helps in two ways. One, strengthening his cover ID, and two, convincing Raul that Mike can be trusted. And he invites Mike to go see Campos. At the loft, Sam is poking holes at the plan, and Mike changes his tactics, and this is actually a pretty funny scene.
I just opened that.
We have work to do.
Part of this plan is reusing Sam's annoying businessman that promptly gets shoved off, but not before Fee plants some C4 while Mike is meeting with Campos. And Mike sells him on some lies. Then Sam and Sophia fake a scene at the restaurant to get Raul to leave, again playing on his jealousy, when Mike reveals,
It's just that Sophia's not at work today, so why is he going to the restaurant to meet her?
Then Mike signals Fee to fire, basically to make it look like an assassination, which Mike thwarts, gaining Campos' trust, forcing the cartel to take care of Raul. But he escapes and begs for witness protection when Sophia reveals who she really was, and after all this, she has a conversation with Mike, who pleads for her to not tell anybody about what he did. This is when Mike meets back up with Nevsky in order to get the badge and the forgery. And And as he leaves, he has a sinking feeling in his stomach and realizes Carla's guys murdered Nevsky. But before he leaves, Mike grabs one of the prototypes in order to find out what Carla's plan is going to be. Then Mike meets back with Maddie to go back to the therapist, where Maddie reveals she canceled because she didn't like the therapist. And they have a heartfelt talk about Mike's past and how he doesn't like talking about his missions. This makes a lot of sense because Maddie doesn't have that type of compartmentalization that Mike has. Then Mike meets back up with Carla and delivers the money and the cards.
Oh, look. You forgot your money.
I'm never gonna work for you, Carla, not that way.
And Mike convinces her not to kill everyone that he works with. She agrees, and Mike speaks Arabic to learn a little bit on Carla. He learns a little bit, and this helps in future episodes figure out who she actually is. This episode is alright. Not like the last episode. The only good parts are the counterfeiter, because those cards become important in future episodes. But even then, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'll get into that later. It is interesting that a DEA agent found Mike all on her own when some government agencies, and in fact certain spies, can't track him down. Kudos to Sophia. Thanks for watching. If you're curious on how the FBI catches serial killers using psychology, watch my other series, Inside Criminal Minds. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe.